And in fact, Delhi air quality has been considered as worst. We understand every air pollutant has some of the negative effect on the health of human body, but these two specific has a huge impact as far as human health are concerned. Have been discovered in the lungs, liver, and brain of fetuses in the world. Around 54,000 deaths in the city were linked to air pollution in that particular year. The garbage burning, all of these are the primary causes of air pollutants in Delhi. This is a major area where again we see the problem of air pollution in our country. Good evening, everyone. I would like to start this discussion with one question. How many of you have seen the air quality index of Delhi in the last couple of weeks? It is somewhere ranging around 450 plus. Why does every year at this point of time it happens and Delhi becomes a gas chamber? People are choking. So what exactly are the reasons of air pollution in Delhi? We are going to discuss in this particular video. So we are going to see different angles to air pollution, why it is happening, what are the environmental reasons, what are the geographical factors, how does government responds to it, what does the constitution says about it, what are different policy measures which has been taken up by the government, how does the judiciary responds to the problem of air pollution. All such things are going to be covered from a multi-dimensional perspective as far as an important topic for the examination air pollution is concerned. So after the discussion, you're going to get the few learning outcomes would be you're going to get to know the major causes, its impact with respect to air pollution happening in Delhi. We are going to see that why exactly at this point of time the situation gets worsened. Why in winter, why during the periods from October to February, we see peak air pollution happening in Delhi. Then we are going to see what does the constitution say about when we talk about the problem of environment. Are there any legal measures or are there any law which allow us to tackle the problem of air pollution? Then we are going to see how is the government in general and how Delhi government is responding to the situation of air pollution happening in Delhi. What is the governance principles which are being applicable as far as tackling of air pollution in Delhi is concerned. And there is a very long debate that how can we solve this problem. So very briefly, we are going to see what would be a optimistic way forward with respect to tackling the problem of air pollution. So I am assuming that all of us who are staying in Delhi and in fact across the globe, this is a news. And in fact, Delhi air quality has been considered as worst. So firstly, what exactly is air pollution? So there are certain pollutants which enter into the atmosphere that takes the form of air pollution. And primarily these pollutants consist of particulate matters, that is PM. I'll discuss what exactly are these particulate matter, small tiny particles. Ground level ozone, because ozone is one of the pollutants at atmospheric level, but again at stratosphere, it is considered as something which is helping us from harmful UV radiations, and that is where we talk about the whole idea of ozone layer depletion. So again, a same, let's say, ozone, which is harmful at atmospheric level, but it is beneficial at a stratospheric level. Then carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxides, sulfur dioxide, and volatile organic compounds. So all of these are the common air pollutants which are there, which causes the problem of air pollution in general. Then it is very important to understand what exactly is this particulate matter. All of you know the size of hairs, right? All of you must have gone to beaches, you have seen sand, and you understand how much thin and tiny they are. So let's visualize that how does this particulate matter look like. It is very important to understand that again how exactly it is impacting our health. If you look at if you have imagined the thin size of hair, all of you must have gone to beaches, you have seen sand particles. Then you imagine that how exactly this PM 2.5 and PM 2.10, which is mostly seen in news with respect to air pollution in general and specifically from the Delhi perspective, how does it look like? If this is considered as a diagram for a thin hair, which is considered to be of size of 50 to 70 microns, right? And this is where the PM 2.5 lies. 2.5 here signifies that the size of these particles are how many times less than the size of a hair, which is again released from the combustion of vehicles, from organic compounds, from metals. So this is a sign or size of PM 2.5, which is heavily present as far as the air pollution or air pollutants with respect to particulate matter are concerned. We talk about PM10. So particulate matter 10, which is again are basically dust particles, pollen, molds, which is a size of less than 10 microns in diameter. So approximately 1/5 or 1/7 smaller than the size of a hair. Now imagine, are they not invisible? Are they not maybe very clearly seen from through naked eyes? And this is where we talk about the harmful effect of these PM particles as far as the health concern related to this PM 2.5 and PM 10 is concerned. If you look at sand particles, they are of usually size of 90 microns, which is very less, very tiny. Of course, you can hold it by hand, but again, imagine, which is very, very less than the size of hair, and the sand particles are the size of this PM 2.5 and PM 10 particles. That shows that how much dangerous they are as far as human health hazard due to this PM 2.5 and PM 10 is concerned. We understand every air pollutant has some of the negative effect on the health of human body, but these two specific has a huge impact as far as human health are concerned. So let's see, how does this PM originate, the particulate matter originate. So technically, if you understand, the many times the dust particles, small dust particles, usually you see around construction sites, whenever we are traveling in road, the friction which is generated between the tires and the road, it is again generating a different kind of dust particles. Imagine nowadays, if you must have been observing that again, once you go back your home, you park your car, you come back the next morning, or maybe you come back after 1 hour after parking your car at a particular place, the clean windshield has a layer of small dust particles. That showcases the huge air pollution which is happening in Delhi. So this particulate matter basically are coming into environment from certain sources, right, such as sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, volatile organic compounds. So these are the precursors of these particulate matter, which are transformed through various atmospheric chemistry to form what we call as particulate matter. So particulate matter, generally they are observed again around the construction sites, the small amount of dust, but again through environmental chemistry, these pollutants are also transformed into these particulate matters. That's how maybe the particulate matter is coming into picture as far as the air pollutants are concerned. Now let's visualize that how exactly they are taking the toll on human health. Let's discuss. All of you must have be aware of something which happened in a country, I think in 2020, the whole pandemic situation, coronavirus. This is the size of coronavirus, 0.5 micron. If you look at the size of a bacteria, sums down to 0.5 microns, and this is PM 2.5. So imagine, right? So this is where you talk about we wear mask, and this surgical mask is not going to help us to tackle the problem of this PM 2.5 and PM 10. And this is the size of red blood cell, which is 7 microns. This is PM 10. So this is where it visualizes that how these PM 2.5 can easily enter our lungs, can easily enter our blood system. This PM10 can very easily through our mouth, through our nose, can enter into our bloodstream, our lungs, and they create a huge health impact as far as human health are concerned. This is again going to make you very much clearly visualize that how these PM 2.5 and PM10, which are present as far as Delhi air is concerned, is very harmful for your health. Then let's see that how exactly this are the health impacts as far as this air pollution matter is concerned. So let's start with, all of you must have been facing, this is very general, I no need to explain this. My points is just going to make you understand, and again, you will get a sense of something which is happening to you in a day-to-day life if you're staying in Delhi. Many times, don't you feel you are feeling quite hazy, right? We are feeling headache, right? So this is something which is happening with air pollutants which are there in the air of Delhi. So headache and anxiety are caused due to this sulfur dioxide as a air pollutant, which impacts on the central nervous system, that is PM particles, which are entering into our body. They are impacting the central nervous system of our body. Very important. Then if you look at here, the irritation, inflammation and infections which are happening, the incidences of asthma, the incidences of reduced lung friction caused by nitrogen oxides, the chronic obstructive pulmonary disease PM, the lung cancer. So nowadays many people we have seen that again, even if someone is not consuming tobacco, they are not smoking up, but then also we are seeing huge incidences of lung cancers happening in the country, which is again a health emergency, can be attributed to the particulate matter which is present in the atmosphere. We talk about irritation in eyes. Many times all of you must have observed that again, how much irritation, how much, let's say, some sense of irritation comes to our eyes. This is again due to air pollution. We see congestion in our nose, congestion in our throat, right? A lot of people cough during this particular season. All of these are the result of the air we are breathing these days, which contains all of these harmful pollutants. The ozone, the particulate matter, the nitrogen oxide, all of those are causing these kind of irritation which we face in our day-to-day life, but we neglect. Then with respect to cardiovascular diseases, right? Many times I'll show you some data as well, which is showcasing the idea that again, a lot of heart attacks, a lot of cardiovascular diseases are also attributed to the air pollutants which are present in the atmosphere. The PM particles, the ozone, the sulfur dioxide. We talk about the impact of these pollutants in liver, spleen, and the blood. As I discussed, the size of red blood cell is 7 microns, and PM 2.5 is, I think, 3 times or 1/3 the size of red blood cells which are present in our body. So how easily they are entering into our blood system. And again, through blood in the cardiovascular disease, maybe in the heart, right? And that's how you see the visible impacts in a day-to-day basis as far as your health related concerns due to air pollution is concerned, and that has to be taken very seriously. And this is why people have been talking about that it is something, a health emergency situation is there with respect to severe air pollution which is there currently in Delhi. Then it is also impacting the reproductive systems of human body as well. So these are the one of, or maybe few of the impacts of these pollutants as far as its impact on human health is concerned. Then we talk about, there is a data which tells that according to Energy Policy Institute of University of Chicago, in 2024, they have released a data which showcases that in Delhi, the average Delhi resident who are residing in Delhi, they are losing about 11.9 years of their life expectancy due to these polluted air. Again, a very serious concern. So technically, if my age span would be around 70 to 80, just hypothetical, so I am going to live 10 years less or 11.9 years less than my actual, let's say, natural life expectancy, which is again showcasing the problem that how harmful it is, how harmful it is for human health, that people are losing approximately a decade or more than a decade of their life due to maybe due to the inhalation of this harmful air which is present in the atmosphere. That showcases that how important this matter is as far as health of humans are concerned. Then we can talk about the, if you understand, there are a lot of pregnant women, right? So do maybe babies which are there in mother's womb are affecting due to air pollution, or are they affected due to air pollution? This was something which was observed as per this particular report. Scientists and researchers have found these harmful pollutants in the lungs, brains, and livers of unborn babies. So there are a lot of incidences which show that again, pollution is not only affecting the people, but a child who is not even born, who is there in the mother's womb, that child is also affected due to air pollution. And this is where we have seen that again, a lot of particles have been discovered in the lungs, liver, and brain of fetuses in the world, in the womb of child. Scientists believe that the particles can cross to the unborn baby through the placenta, which is again a layer in which the baby lies in mother's womb, as early as the first trimester of pregnancy is concerned. So you understand, apart, many times people usually tell that the pregnant women should not get exposed themselves to environmental hazards such as second-hand smoke, lead, pesticides, and air pollution, which can impact health of an unborn baby as well. So something which is of a such serious matter. We also talk about that again, as per World Health Organization, ambient air pollution, or what we call as outdoor pollution, that how they are leading to deaths which are caused due to air pollution. So as per the report, it estimates that in 2019, some approximately 68% of outdoor air pollution which is there in atmosphere, they created deaths which are premature deaths. That is again as per the report also, which talks about deadly people losing out 11.9 years of their age. So that we call as premature deaths. This data shows that due to air pollution, 68% of the deaths were due to this heart diseases and stroke, 14% were due to chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases, which we have seen, 14% were due to acute lower respiratory infections, and 4% of the deaths were due to lung cancers. This is again implying that how these air pollutants are very harmful as far as human health is concerned. And imagine a situation, a poor people living in these low and middle income countries who are fighting for food, who are fighting for shelter. And can you imagine that they can think of these problems? And that shows the seriousness of the matter in this middle and low income countries as far as the health impact of air pollution is concerned. As for the Conference of Parties as well, experts have warned the impact of air pollution on health, or specifically with respect to the Delhi air crisis. In COP 30, it was discussed that around 8.1 million deaths across the world has happened due to air pollution, and approximately 2.1 alone was done in India. And they have also told that again, with the rising incidences of air pollution in Delhi, this is going to get much more severe. That showcases that how important this matter is as far as human health is concerned. I'm assuming this is going to make you clear that how much important it is to take care of your own health, right? So make sure you take necessary precautions with respect to whenever you're moving outside, right? And whatever steps and whatever things government have been telling, we have to abide by it. Let's see different other angles. It is not just only limited to what we call as health sector. If you look at how air pollution is impacting the economy of the country, this data tells a clear picture. According to World Bank report, India is losing 8% of its GDP equivalent every year due to air pollution related productivity loss and healthcare loss. If people are not well, Don't you think their productivity is going to decrease, right? Economic slowdown would happen. If you understand, with air pollution, with the GRAP guidelines happening, there are construction sites which are getting banned, odd even scheme, many other things have been happening. Don't you think it is again leading to decrease in economic productivity of the country? That what this report tells. So again, economy is also affected due to this air pollution. There is other report which tells that with air pollution, it is hitting the balance sheets of businesses across the country, not just India, across the countries, and cutting the earnings of employees. Cleaning up our air would help us to lead healthier and more productive lives, number one, while delivering a green jobs, which is very important to boost economy of the country. That is where we talk about sustainable growth to fight climate change. All of these have to be taken in a very serious manner if we want to get a country, if we want to give to our future generation a good Mother Earth. There is one data which also tells that if clean air is again seen, if we are making air cleaner, then it is going to be profitable as far as for the economy as well. Promoting clean air is not only compatible with, but it can boost economic growth. Air pollution reduction has boosted the European Union economy by 50 billion euros to 60 billion euros each year since 2014. That's again, we talk about that we want to see grow, we want to visualize India as a $5 trillion economy, $30 trillion economy by 2047. The idea of Viksit Bharat, it is all going to happen again by tackling air pollution as well. And there are example of countries who have done that. Then we talk about that as far as Delhi is concerned, there was a study which was being done in 2021 by Greenpeace, which has revealed certain alarming facts with respect to the results of air pollution or the impact of air pollution as far as Delhi economy is concerned. Around 54,000 deaths in the city were linked to air pollution in that particular year. The economic losses was estimated around 58,895 crores, which is approximately 8 billion US dollars. And this was equivalent to 13% of Delhi's GDP of that particular year. We talk about contribution of GDP to health. We talk about contribution of GDP to education. And we are losing 13% of GDP of Delhi due to air pollution, which is again showcasing its harmful impact as far as Delhi's economy is concerned. Then moving on, what are the causes? We have discussed enough regarding the impact of air pollution. Then what are the reasons which is causing air pollution in Delhi? Let's see one by one. So as far as the local urban sources are concerned, I think many of us who are quite unaware would talk about stubble burning in Punjab and Haryana. Again, that comes naturally to our mind when we think about air pollution in Delhi, but that is not a reality. If you look at the sources of air pollution, what exactly is causing air pollution in Delhi? Number one is the vehicular pollution, then the construction sites, the dust coming from roads, industrial emissions of sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, the DG sets, the garbage burning. All of these are the primary causes of air pollutants in Delhi. Then, with respect to the regional sources, we talk about, yes, the ideas of stubble burning in the Punjab and Haryana region, specifically during this time. And why do they do that? Because once rice has been harvested, the amount of stubble which is being collected before sowing of wheat, that need to be cleaned. So the time span between the harvesting of rice and the sowing of wheat is very less. And that's where farmers go for this burning of the stubble. That is where there have been a lot of mechanisms which has been done by the government since last decade to tackle the problem of stubble burning which was happening in the Punjab and Haryana region. Then the industrial smoke from the NCR region, which is again the industrial belt of Delhi, is also leading to air pollution, specifically from the regions of Ghaziabad and Sonipat. And of course, the episodic events of Diwali, firecrackers, dust storms, which are very seasonal. All of these are the primary reasons or the causes of air pollution in Delhi. Then we talk about that why specifically only Delhi, and what is the reason that why it takes such a big shape when it comes to winter season, specifically during the months of October to February. So what are the prominent reasons which is causing this big trap of polluted air in Delhi during the season? Let's explore the reasons. Number one is the topography and the location of Delhi. Delhi lies in the Indo-Gangetic plain. If you visualize, this is the Indo-Gangetic plain, right? The yellow or the orange part talks about that during this period, usually the movement of wind is from the northwestern region. The wind usually moves from northwestern region to the southeastern region. This is the flow of wind naturally during this particular season. So Delhi, or this Indo-Gangetic plain, Delhi lies in the Indo-Gangetic plain. And if you look at, this is a major area where again we see the problem of air pollution in our country. Why it is more severe in Delhi? If we talk about the idea of burning stubble, burning happening in Punjab and Haryana, why the air quality is much better than it is there in Delhi? So again, this is where geography comes into picture. Usually at this period of time, the wind movement is happening from the northwestern region to the southeastern region. Clear? Delhi is lying in a flatland area. Have you seen maybe a bowl? So this is somewhere you talk about Delhi is something in a flatland and a lowland area. So usually whenever this air is passing through, right, they get trapped in the flat, low-lying region of Delhi. Right? Again, there are multiple other reasons I'll show you. So technically, if you understand that the circulation of air is happening at two levels. One is at a horizontal level and second is at a vertical level. Now we discuss the ideas of what we call as temperature inversion, right? So that is the first idea what I've discussed was a lower lying bowl with limited air circulation. So pollutants in Delhi get trapped, right? So every area, if this is Indo-Gangetic plain, Delhi is somewhere which is in a low-lying area, so that makes the trapping of this polluted air in Delhi. Then it is again topped up by the whole idea of wind pattern system which is happening, which I discussed, of course. The wind is moving from northwesterly winds from Punjab towards Delhi, and that's how the smoke which is there due to stubble burning is getting into Delhi with this northwesterly winds. Then we have what we call as temperature inversion. All of you must have read temperature inversion. So temperature inversion is something wherein whenever the heat of sun hits the earth gets warmed, warm air rises. So whenever the warm air rises, the whatever pollution or maybe the polluted air is there, the PM particles are there, they are usually going up, they are getting cooled, and that's how the vertical air circulation is tackling the problem of maybe circulation of polluted air from the region. Right? This is happening in Delhi in the normal summer seasons. But during October to February, we see what we call as temperature inversion. The colder nights, of course, we are seeing colder nights these days. So whenever these colder nights and the natural topography of Delhi, we see, and again, the whole idea of polluted air which is there. So whenever there is striking of heat from sun, there is cold, dense air which is present at the bottom, right? And with pollution, the sunlight is not hitting the surface, and this temperature inversion is not happening. And that is one reason with respect to why we see the problem of air pollution during this specific period from October to February, due to the problem of this inversion which is not happening. So the cold air is there. So cold air is there, but warm is there. So cold air is not rising up. So the vertical circulation of wind usually stops. Topped up by that, we have seen in this particular period, there's no rains, right? the winds are very dry, and there is slow movement of the horizontal air as well. So vertically, air is not moving up. Horizontally, the speed of air is very less. There is no moisture content. There is no rain, so that the harmful pollutants through rain can come down to the surface of earth. Nothing is happening. So conditions are not favorable for Delhi as far as this periods of month are concerned. And that is leading to making this situation even worse during this winter season. So these are the prominent geographical reasons which can explain that again why the situation of air pollution is Delhi getting worsened during that particular period. Again, we saw that the wind speeds are less, there is no rain happening. So these are the prominent reasons which are leading to air pollution in Delhi. I'll explain a very simple example. In a gas stove, if you are keeping a bowl or a utensil, and again water starts to boil, then you close that bowl with a lid. What happens? The moisture or the water vapor gets trapped, and that's how much maybe the water vapor gets trapped in that particular lid through which you have covered the utensil in which water is boiling. That is similar thing what is happening in Delhi, that the pollutants are there, right? And the pollutant is trapped, of course, in the region of Delhi due to the slow movement of air and the topography of Delhi. And the inversion which is supposed to happen is not happening because it has been closed, or the lid is the cold air which is there in the atmosphere, which is not leading, not maybe inverting due to this cold air which is in the surface of earth, and the heat of sun is not reaching over there. So these are the few prominent reasons with respect to geography which explains why Delhi severely faces the problem of pollution in that particular period of time. So these are the few prominent reasons. Now let's see that what are the constitution's principles with respect to environment in our country. Our constitution gives us a fundamental right of Article 21, that is right to life and personal liberty. This right has been given the widest interpretation by Supreme Court through a series of judgments. And in one of the judgments, Supreme Court has told that right to a clean air and environment is a fundamental right under Article 21. If we are not breathing clean air in Delhi, that is a violation of fundamental right of citizens. Then there is a DPSP. These are the guidelines which are given to states that whenever you're going to make certain policies, you're going to keep these guidelines into picture. Article 48A, which was added through an amendment, which talks about the state shall protect and improve the environment. It is responsibility of the government to protect the environment. It is not ending there. As citizens, we also have certain duty towards the state, that is the country. Duty says 51A sub clause G talks about we have a fundamental duty of every citizen to protect the environment. So again, it is all about give and take relationship. If government has been in charge to tackle and to maintain and to give us clean air, if it is a fundamental right which our constitution is giving to us, it is our responsibility also to tackle the problem of and to manage and to protect the environment. Then we talk about some of the legal laws. As far as Air Prevention and Control Pollution Act of 1981 is concerned, it is the core law with respect to tackling the problem of air pollution, right? So the Central Pollution Control Board, the State Pollution Control Boards are given the powers to monitor and control air pollution. We talk about Environmental Protection Act in 1986, which was, again, all of you know about the Bhopal gas tragedy. So this was an umbrella law after Bhopal gas tragedy, which allowed government to issue rules like banning of pet coke or enforcing fuel norms as far as tackling and managing environment is concerned. We have Commission for Air Quality Management, CAQM, which was created in the year 2021 specifically for Delhi and NCR region, which powers them to enforce regional coordination between the regional cities of what states of Punjab, Haryana, Western UP, to tackle the problem of air pollution in a regional manner. So these are the few legal framework as far as the ideas of tackling of air pollution is concerned. Judiciary time and again has given up all of the whole the GRAP guidelines, graded response to air pollution, was given by judiciary in the MC Mehta case. So there has been again involvement of executive, judiciary and the legislature, which have been doing their task with respect to tackling the problem of air pollution. But still the problem persists. So how exactly, maybe we again, all of you know about Swachh Bharat mission. So in 2014, under the aegis of Swachh Bharat mission, we talk about the National Air Quality Index, as in every citizen of the country are going to get good quality of air, which was coming under Swachh Bharat mission program of the government. So air quality index is basically a tool or a health tool which was designed to communicate air pollution levels or the quality of air in simple terms. Example, 8 pollutants, again what we have discussed, PM10, 2.5, ozone, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, lead, ammonia. So they are the major parameters in deriving air quality of an area. And these days there are a lot of content in social media platforms which talks about the worst condition of air quality what we are seeing. In fact, there were few of the incidences where again it went beyond the limit of measurement of air quality index. So that showcases the severity of the air quality condition which is there in Delhi. In fact, it has marked again 450 plus or severe category since last couple of weeks. So that showcases that how important it is to tackle that problem. So the Central Pollution Control Board is the authority which is again determining this air quality index. So if the air quality lies between 0 to 50, it is of good category. If it is lying between 51 to 100, it is satisfactory category. Moderate, 101 to 200. Poor, 21, 200 to 300. Very poor, 300 to 450, 400. And 400 to 500, a severe category. So again, currently Delhi, in many regions of Delhi, not all regions, many regions of Delhi are in the severe category of air pollution. So this does not stop here. Government has given a graded response to air pollution. Air pollution has to be solved looking at the situation where we are. If we are here, there would be a different approach to tackle the problem of air pollution. If we are here, we are going to do some other steps to tackle the problem of air pollution. This is called as graded response to air pollution. So there are few restrictions which come into picture whenever the air quality is getting released. So there are technically 4 stages of graded response to air pollution. Stage 1, where again the air quality is in poor category between 200 to 300. Stage 2, wherein there are the air quality is between 300 to 400. Grade 3, where severe category 400 to 450, and severe plus, which is more than 450. So currently the Delhi government very recently has enforced grade 3 or stage 3 of GRAP, that is graded response to air pollution. So again, all of you must be aware what are the restrictions which comes into picture whenever these grade or just these GRAP stage 1, 2, 3 and 4 are enforced. Now currently we are at this stage. Then with respect to enforcement drive which has been tackled or done by Delhi government is that the Delhi Police and Transport Department are running strict POC, the pollution control certificates, which are being checked and issued, and thousands of challans are being collected, because many times we have seen there are older vehicular pollution is one of the major problems with respect to the problem of air pollution in Delhi. So all of these PUC norms, any vehicle who is not compliant with, they are not allowed and they are stopped at borders before entering into Delhi. We have state and central schemes. Different schemes have been there. All of you must have been aware. This is not something not new. We have PUSA biodecomposers. We talked about the problem of stubble burning. So this innovation converts stubble into compost within 15 days, and Delhi government is subsidizing the spraying of this particular thing. We talk about National Clean Air Program, which was launched in the year 2019, which is aiming to reduce PM 2.5 and 10 by 40% in 2026 in 131 cities. We're talking about the national level programs. Vehicular scrappage policy to remove older, more polluting vehicles. Then the FAME scheme, which is pushing people to go for electric vehicle adoption. So these are the current central and state government schemes with respect to tackling the problem of air pollution. Recently, Delhi in November has launched a new scheme, that is Delhi's Air Pollution Mitigation Plan 2025, which has been launched. The theme is, of course, aiming for cleaner days ahead. So what exactly are the basic things which this plan talks about? That from 1st of November 2025 of this year, only BS6 CNG and electric commercial vehicles will be permitted to enter Delhi. Number one, we are deploying 5,000 electric buses and 2,300 electric autos as feeders to metro systems by 25 and 26. Again, for the ideas of last mile connectivity, because technically you go by metro, but after metro, how you are traveling, how you are commuting, that is a problem. So that is the idea of connecting as a last mile connectivity. This is something, a proposal which has to be achieved by the year end of 2026. Then installation of 18,000 electric vehicle charging stations across Delhi by 26. If you're talking about adoption of electric vehicles, there has to be enough charging stations as well. Then in ban on end of life vehicles to Delhi from July 25. All old vehicles, diesel vehicles which are older, which are not compliant or not complying with the pollution norms are not allowed, and they are banned from entering into Delhi. Then dust control measures have been there, mechanized sweeping, sprinkling of water, anti-smog guns have been identified at 13 identified hotspots by winter 2025. You see nowadays there are a lot of smog machines which are maybe running across streets of Delhi, where again the air quality is very severe. Then expansion of air quality monitoring stations. 6 new stations have to be operational by March 2026. This is how we can observe and measure the incidences of air quality in a better manner. Deployment of battery operated e-rickshaws, e-cars at identified hubs, which is the last mile connectivity by 25 and 26. We are planning to strengthen regional and interstate coordination between Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, UP through institutional mechanisms which has been ongoing. Then we are going to focus not just on winters, around the year to tackle the problem of air pollution, construction dusts, waste management, waste burning, green cover to be implemented by 25 and 26. Plot of cloud seeding and artificial rain, very important. This is something which has happened very recently. We have gone for air artificial rain, but it was not successful. I'll discuss that as well. So these are some of the measures which has been launched under this Delhi's air pollution mitigation plan for 2025. Let's see how we are going to go about this. Let's see what are the visible results, which is going to be seen, of course, in the next year during the same period. As far as the artificial rain, it was again in news. Again, there has been incidences of cloud seeding which has happened. So artificial rain is basically that, again, not naturally, through an artificial manner, we are going to make cloud, and again this is going to the rain is going to happen, because we understand if rains are happening, majority of the pollutants is going to come down and we are going to see a cleaner air. So in this mechanism of artificial raining, one technique is that a plane flies into the cloud with what we call as silver iodide pellets. Clear? So these are the basic chemicals, silver iodide, which is used for cloud seeding mechanism. Now the pellets are released into the cloud. Then the pellets interact with moisture and promote formation of ice crystals. And after this, condensation continues until water droplets are formed and they came down as a form of rain. Everything happened in Delhi. This was happening, this happened correctly, this also happened correctly. But once we reached here, the moisture content in the airs of Delhi was not enough to form what we call as ice crystals. And this is where the program stopped. It did not work. the artificial rain which was carried out by Delhi government, which was a very defined or a very rational step to tackle the problem of air pollution. IMD has given clearances. We have waited for longer period of time, but still nature does not see any news, nature does not understand anything. It is something which is very natural. So conditions were not favorable and artificial rain could not happen in Delhi, which could have been one of the major relief factors with respect to tackling the problem of air pollution. So again, we have discussed enough with respect to what are the problems, causes, what have been happening in Delhi. So is it something, a problem which is only happening in Delhi, or it has happened in some other country, some other big city, and it has tackled that thing? That's where China comes into picture. Beijing, one city which was under severe air quality. I think in the year 2015, there were news around the world which talked about the severe air quality in the Beijing. So this is where China stepped up. China did a commendable effort with respect to tackling the problem of air pollution. This is where one of the Hindu articles talk about Beijing's war against air pollution. So as a result of meticulous planning, strategy on at multiple levels, the whole pollutants, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, volatile organic compounds, the PM 2.5, all of the four major air pollutants which was there in Beijing, they fell by respectively 83%, 43%, 42% and 59% respectively. So what Beijing actually done? What steps did it took that the air quality in Beijing as of now is 30, which is very good, right? So let's see what Delhi can learn, and this is where international best practices has to be observed and see the feasibility of implementing them in India as well. So what they did was multi-sector sustained push. They did not only went for tackling problem of pollution in different sectors. They observed every sector, their contribution towards air pollution, and then they formed a strategy and people complied over there as well. That is something we are going to observe in Delhi as well. We are not only going to observe and talk about the problem of pollution in Delhi only in winters. It is going to move beyond seasonal bans. Then massive budget was put for solving the problem of air pollution, plus strong enforcement was there. That has to be there with respect to this as well. Funds have to be given. The Commission on Air Quality Management has to be empowered. Then vehicle quota and EV drive. Again, we know about EV vehicles. Again, China had this whole policy of, Beijing had this whole policy of every month they put up a lottery and license plates were given to them. Only people who at that lottery got that license plate were allowed to buy vehicles. This is something which can also be done by India, that strengthening the scrapping. Even if over here, all the older vehicles who were scrapped, some kind of subsidies was given if you are scrapping the old vehicle and buying the new vehicle. Because of course, new vehicles are going to emit less amount of pollution as compared to the older vehicles. All of these steps was very successfully implemented in Beijing, which could be also done in India. Then regional coordination, of course, was there. Again, here also we are going to see it a common problem of NCR, Punjab, Haryana and alignment. There has to be alignment between all of these states, and citizen campaigns were there. Because as I discussed, we have a fundamental duty also towards protecting environment, and this is where public ownership to tackle the problem of air pollution should come into picture. If you're talking about go for public transports, please go for public transports. If we talk about maybe stop the burning of, let's say, fires, or stop the burning of, because in cold seasons these days people are burning woods to get them some relief, all of these has to be stopped. The construction sites, everyone has to comply with the steps which government is taking. Then only we can see some visible results as far as tackling the problem of air pollution is concerned. Then what exactly is the way forward? Very quickly, for a short-term period basis, this is something what we are doing: strict application of the graded response to air pollution framework. Then real-time dust suppression and PUC drives, which actually is happening in Delhi. For a medium-term solution, we are going for EV transition. People should be encouraged, incentives should be given for people to buy these EV vehicles. Green public transport system should be considered. crop diversification and residue management as far as the idea of subtle burning is concerned. For a long-term strategy, we are going to have a regional coordination between the regional drive of Commission of Air Quality Management with respect to Punjab, Haryana, Western UP and the NCR region. We are going to go for urban planning reforms with respect to reducing the dependency on vehicles, and we are going to have a behavior change. Citizen participation should happen. So it is my understanding, and again, all of us should agree to this point, that it is not a problem for the government. It is a common problem for all of us. All of us, along with government, has to step up to talk about the problem of and to manage the problem of air pollution. So this is how, with a combined effort of government, with people participation, with behavioral change, we can definitely fight the air pollution problem. And again, in the coming future, we are going to breathe a good air quality as far as the next year winters are concerned. So all the very best. Do your effort, do your bit with respect to tackling the problem of air pollution. Contribute. Your small contribution could create a meaningful impact if all of us are doing it. So with this, we can tackle the problem of air pollution in a joint manner along with the government. So thank you for watching. I hope you got a clarity with respect to the whole idea of air pollution, its causes, its impact, governance angle, then how we are tackling it, and what could we do to stop the problem. So thank you so much for watching, and all the very best.